Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So my name's Destiny and I do book things here. I have renamed my channel. I decided that I wanted it branded after me so I could do what I wanted with it instead of it just being a book channel. So there's a change there. But today we're going to talk about the Top 5 Wednesday group. It's a discussion board on Goodreads, and every week there's a different prompt and um, different prompt for us to answer. This week's was 5 dream adaptations of a book, so movie or TV. Um, for all 5 I've chosen, I want them to be TV shows because most of them are series, so you can do, one book per season, a chapter, an episode. So, yeah, without further ado, here are my top 5. These aren't in any order, they're just the order that I grabbed them off of my shelf. So, the first one is going to be Wicked Lovely by Melissa Moore. Now, I've only read the first 2 in the series, but I love them so much. If you've not heard of this, it is a backlist title. It came out in, I think, 2007. So this is about Aslan, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, who gets chosen to be, or gets picked out by a fairy, and he starts talking to her and try to court her. Basically, she can see fairies, so she knows he's a fairy. She knows that he's not good, and it kind of takes off from there. The tagline is what made me pick this up, and I love it so much. It says, rule number 3, don't stare at the invisible fairies. Rule number 2, do not speak to the invisible fairies. Rule number 1, don't ever attract their attention. Well, let me tell you, she breaks all 3 rules, and it takes from there. I would love to see this made into a TV show. I think it'd be really interesting, especially since the second one does not follow Aslan, it follows a friend of hers. So I think it would be really, really good to make into a TV show. The next one on my list is Inescapable by Amy Bartrow. Now, this one, I've only read the first one, but I do love it. And this is all about Morgan, who, when she goes off to college, meets a bunch of people, and weird things start happening. She starts having dreams of her all bloody and on the floor, like dying, basically. And she doesn't know what's going on. She meets this guy named Reed, who does not like her, does not want anything to do with her, and she really can't figure out what's going on, and it takes off from there. This one's so good. For so much of it, Morgan kind of ends up being blind and doesn't know what's going on, so you don't know what's going on with her. And when she finally figures it out, it's such a twist. It's so good. I've read this twice, and hopefully I'm planning on getting to the second one next month, so I'm excited. I would love to see this as a TV show, because there's so many details in this that I don't think a movie would do it justice. And in my opinion, movies never do books justice. The number 3 on my list is Drug Nation by Justina Ireland. This one is about, oh wow, I hit Jane. Jane lives in a alternate historical universe. So the battles of Gettysburg happens. Slaves are freed, but after Gettysburg, the dead start walking and eating the other half of the army, basically. It takes off from there. So Jane now is, I want to say that she's 17. I don't think we ever really get told. And she's in a combat school for girls. So if you're a person of color, you are sent to these combat schools to learn to fight and to become an attendant to protect usually rich white people from the dead. Um, she's in Boston, and Boston's believed to be safe, and that the need for attendance is going down because Boston's so safe. There's no dead in Boston, and it just kind of takes off from there. It's so good. Um, this one does have a second one that I've read that I love too, and I'm hoping that she writes a third one, but who knows if she really will or not. Um, and I think this would make a great TV show. Number 4 on my list is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. We all remember the City of Bones TV show and the movie. Neither were that great from what I heard. I never watched the TV show. I did watch the movie and it was awful. Um, so I would love for them to make this into a TV show and just use the book as the script. Don't change anything. Don't take any artistic liberations with it. Just take this, make it your script, and make a show. I would love that. If you've read City of Bones and didn't care for it, and it was the story itself and not the writing, I highly suggest picking up the Infernal Devices books because they are so good. This is the third one. The first one is Clockwork Angel. This revolves around Tess, who in the first book she is sent to London to find her brother. When she gets there, there's these two weird women who kidnap her and lock her up. She doesn't know what's going on. She has powers that they're making her use. And while she's in this house, Will and Jim break in and save her, basically. And it takes off from there. This is so good. This is one of the love triangles that I think Cassandra really did well. So yeah, that's number 4. And lastly, the last book I would like to be made into a TV show is The Strange Case of the Alchemist started by Theodora Goss. This one, guys, it's my favorite. I honestly love this so much. I tapped it up so much, and I'm currently in the middle of the second one. The second one's so much bigger. Hold on, grab it. Than the first. Here's the second one. It's a chunky one. I didn't know it was going to be that chunky when I bought it, but it is chunky. So this is all about Mary Jekyll, who her mother dies, and she is left the house and realizes that she is broke. Her mother had a dowry, but it only lasted through her lifetime, meaning Mary is broke. She won't have any money to run the household. She goes to see her mother's accountant to see how much she really has in the bank, how much she's working with, and what she's going to have to live off of. And the accountant tells her, hey, your mom's been paying for a hide to stay at this boarding house, basically. Do you want to keep paying for that, or do you want to go get them? Do you want to, what's going on? And so she's like, I don't know. Stop paying for it. I'm going to go find out who this is and what's going on. Hyde, the infamous Mr. Hyde, is wanted for murder. There's actually a reward out for his head that Mary thinks, if my mom's been hiding Hyde this whole time, I can go get the reward money. I can live, to see another day or whatever. And so she goes to get the reward money, and it turns out it's not the Hyde she thought it was. Instead, she meets Diana, which is his daughter. And it kind of takes off from there. The back gives you a lot more detail, but I don't want to give you any more detail than that because I went in blind and absolutely love this. What I love so much about this book in particular is that, let me see if I can find it good. The girls butt into the story quite often. So, to me, it reminded me of two sisters fighting as they're trying to do something because I have 3 sisters. And so they butt in and that's not how it went. I didn't think that. How do you know what I was thinking? And another one butt in, she'd be like, I'm trying to write this as accurately as I can, guys. And at the in the first chapter, she tells you, let me find it because it's actually quite funny, because you're not sure what's going on with all these cutaways until you get to the end of the first chapter. And she says, it says, author's note. I can't tell you how much I regret allowing Mary and the rest of them to see this manuscript while I was writing it. First, they started commenting on what I had written, and then they insisted I make changes in response to their comments. Well, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave their comments in the narrative itself. You, dear reader, will be able to see how annoying and nonsensical most of them are, while offering an occasional flash of insight into character. It will be a new way of writing a novel, and why not? This is the 90s, as Mary pointed out. It's time to develop new ways of writing in a new century. We are no longer in the age of Charles Dickens or George Eliot. After all, we are modern, of course we are, and of course, monstrous. Guys, I would love to see this made into a TV show, especially if they did like cutaways of the girls arguing over the script. I would be in hog heaven. I will tell you, there are 4 or 5 girls. Don't quote me on that. There's 5. There's 5 girls in this, and all of them are daughters of a famous scientist. So you have Monroe, Rappaccini, Frankenstein are the other three, and all of them have something going on with them. So yeah, it does tell you that as you get in the book, like when they're budding in and stuff, you get to meet the character before you actually meet them. So watch out for that, because I spent some of it going, who is this person? I can't wait to meet her. I love her already. So yeah, that is the last book on my list that I would love to be seen made into a TV show. If you like this kind of video and want to see more from me, like, subscribe. I would love to have you here. And I hope to see you in my next one.